Okay, this is Friday, April 20th, and let's look at the S&P Emini 500 with a 1500 tick bar chart and see where processtrading.com using the right edge trading system would have taken our trades today. Now we know that the price bar and the PT VWAP line here, these up here are our trend trading system, and the indicators below are our discretionary trading system, although they all work as a whole system and give confirmation to each other. As well, we have a specific trade management technique that keeps us from getting into bad trades. It gets us into good trades. It does what we call helps us buy into strength and sell into weakness. So first of all, we see that the market opened up here right at this point over here, right around here, and that the uptrend, the PT VWAP line was yellow, so that's an uptrend, but then it turned gray, and that means it's now in a downtrend. And the technique that we have for it says that anytime that the PT VWAP is gray and it has red indications on it, then we can take trades to the short side. So we're looking to take trades to the short side, and we see part of what happened here is the PT VWAP line also acts as support and resistance. So price came down, it broke through support here, and since it's gray with red, that means we can take any timing alert dot, that's the pink and the magenta, any timing alert dot that is above the price bar. So we could take this one here. So by our technique, if we try to take this trade here, we would look at the low of that, and it's 87.50, 26.87.50. So that means we place our order entry 2 points below that at 87.50. And as we go along, here's the lowest it got here. The lowest it got here was 86.25 for the low. And for us to get 2 points below this low of 87.50, we would have had to get in at 85.50. So that would have not filled for us. So now we have a timing alert dot right here. We use the same technique, of course. We look for the low, it's 84.50, so we can get in at 82.50. That's where, 82.75. That's where we place our order entry. But the lowest it gets is 83.25. So again, that would not have filled for us. Now we see that just using our classical techniques, that with VWAP being support and resistance, price came up to resistance and it couldn't get through. And it came up to resistance again and it couldn't go through. And now it's coming up to resistance again here. And once again, we have a timing alert dot. And so using our technique, the low of that bar is 85.75. So we would have to get in at 83.75. That means that we would get in on this bar right here, right around the top of this bar right here. We get in at 83.75. But let's look at the other indicators as well to see how they help us confirm the trade. So we're taking this trade here. We placed our order entry. We know that our order is going to get filled right in over here. And we look down. We see that the energy of it is green here. It's not highly strong to the upside, but it is a little bit green. But then it turns gray, which shows weakness, and eventually it's red here. Also, we have the sentiment oscillator here, with the sentiment line being the dashed yellow line and the momentum line being the tricolored line. It's above the upper bound, and it's coming through the upper bound, cuts through the sentiment line, and the sentiment line itself is on a downslope here, as well as the short-term trend oscillator down here is hugging the lower bound as well. So we know that we're in for a good trade, and the short-term trend oscillator kind of slopes here, and that's usually a trending type of indication as well. So we took this, and we know that we got in over here. We see the slope, we see the energy turning down, and so we know that we're in for a good run here. So let's, now we could get out right here. We have another timing alert dot to the upside right here. Not that that is an exit indicator, but by that time, we got an 83.25, and now this low is 76.25. So it's like 7 points. We would have had 7 points on one contract. We would have had 7 points, so that's $350 right there. So we could have got out there, but if we use our discretionary indicators, we still see that the energy is strong to the downside, as well as the sentiment is sloping down and heading toward the lower bound, and the short-term trend shows no signs of really any strength to go up. So we could have easily stayed with this trade. If we did, we get more confirmation over here to stay in it, because this is a timing alert dot, and because it's gray and red, we could have taken this timing alert dot to the downside, as well as we could have taken this one to the downside. But because of our other indicators, we already stayed in it, and so we didn't get out here. We got so we had gotten in at 83.25, and let's go ahead and exit down here because of the sentiment oscillator crossing from the upper bound. We'll just say that we'll exit at the high of that, which is 70.25. So 13 points, made 13 points over here. And if we're just trading one contract, then that's going to be around $650. So that would have been our first trade of the day. And we're going to stay with to the down, going short because of the PT-VWAP line being gray. Now, here's another strong signal. The PT-VWAP was gray, and in here it's green. We do have a timing alert dot here that lets us take it to the downside. So we would look at that. We would take the low of that at 76.25. So we would get in at 74.25. That means we would have got in somewhere right in this bar here, right in that area. And if we took it all the way down as a sentiment oscillator goes down towards the bottom, let's say we took it to the downside down to here. So that low is 66.50, and we had got in at 74, around 74, 75. So call it 75. And we took it down to 66. Is that right? Around 67. So that's about another 8 points down to here. Now, if we continue on the day, we start looking over here. Again, the whole day was a downtrending day, and we would have continued to take our trades to the short side using the timing alert dots, using the correct trade management technique, of course verifying it with the discretionary indicators here. But if we wanted to, we could take a counter trend trade Actually, no need to, because they already made around 15 points just on one contract. But if you were going to take a counter trend trade, you would look at going long, and that would be against the trend here. That's making a counter trend trade, because you have a particular timing alert dot here that says there might be a trend to the upside. We see that the sentiment oscillator had come down all the way to the lower bound, and now that momentum, it was below the lower bound, and now it's crossing up both through the lower bound and it's crossing up through the sentiment oscillator. And the sentiment oscillator, the sentiment line is starting to slope up. So we would have got into our trade right in this area here. So, and that was around 15:25, 3:25 in the afternoon. And we would have got in somewhere, let's take the high of that, let's say 63.25. And then we likely would have got out somewhere in this area. So that's 69. So another 5 3/4 or 6 points there by taking a contrarian trade. The contrarian trade obviously holds a bit more risk, but if you do it right, they have a high probability, and you just use the correct trade management with them and keep verifying with your discretionary indicators. So on the whole day, you would have made, let's see, 7, 15, around 20 points on one contract, so about $1,000. So, well, that's it for today, for April 20th. If you like what you see, I hope you subscribe, and you want to learn more about it, head on over to processtrading.com and look at the right edge system. And until then, I hope all your trades are good ones, and we'll see you on the next video.